Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Sunniva.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we're taking a look at the Search for Planet X,
which is a deduction game released by Foxtrot Games and Renegade Game Studios.
It plays from 1 to 4 players in 60 to 75 minutes.
It does. So in this game you are searching for Planet X.
Yes.
Obviously, and also looking for other things out in the galaxy. So let's talk a bit about how you play this game. This game is app driven, so we're going to show you some pieces of the app on the screen during this video with magic editing. So in this game you have this board here, because it's a board game, you have this board here, which is pretty simple. There isn't really a lot of things on this board. There really isn't almost anything on this board. There are in this is the normal version, and on the other side of the board there is the advanced version. We're just showing you the normal version now. Here we have 12 sectors around the basically in the sky that you can look at from Earth, which is over here. There's always, like in the basic version, as always, you can see half of the sky from Earth and the other half you cannot see. That has a lot to do with the game. What you are doing in this game basically is trying to find Planet X and also trying to find other elements like asteroid, comets, gas clouds and dwarf planets, which are lurking around here and trying to discover them. When you have discovered them throughout the game, you're trying to publish theories. And you're publishing theories by placing these face down on different places and trying to, then when they get down, you're going to see if you were correct. If you were correct, you're going to get score points at the end of the game. And also the first players to place correct theories in one of the sectors is going to get some bonus points. So you're doing this by basically doing very simple action through the app, because everything here is app-based. So everybody has to have their own app, or you can send it around if you want to. We have just played it with everybody using their own smart device, so you don't have to send it around, which is simpler. You're starting a game, one player starting the game, the other are placing in a game code, and then you get some starting information, which you will be writing on your player sheet. So the sheet here, like you see, you're going to sit adjacent to one of these symbols. Right now we have the winter solstice, so the player having this is sitting on this corner of the board. So you're placing, you get some starting information, like for example, sector 12 doesn't have a dwarf planet, then you are scribbling out the dwarf planet so you know that that isn't there. And then you're going to start doing the game. And the game mostly is done by doing a couple of different actions. You're going to do some research, because that's going to tell you some logic rules for example, telling you that a dwarf planet is 2 away from a meteor, for example. That could be one thing, or a comet, if there isn't any meteors in the game. So if they told you that, it would be wrong. It could tell you something like that. There are some logic rules that there is always in play, and then there's going to be some random ones scrambled in the app to make the games feel different. So you are doing research, you are doing service of the sky to find out, for example, you could say in the app, you could say, I'm going to survey from 2 to 5. How many asteroids are in 2 to 5? And the app is going to say there are 2 asteroids in 2 to 5, and that might give you some information, or it might not give you some information, or some information it's giving you, but it might give you good information or not. And there's a couple of more actions. There's you can use one of these targets to actually just say, oh, what is in number 6? You're not doing it like that, you're doing it in the app. So what is in number 6? I'm just going to tell you what is in number 6, or in sector 6. The only thing is that it's not going to tell you where Planet X is, because it's going to say it's a truly empty space, which it might be, or it might be Planet X, because that comes up truly empty in searches. And all of these actions are going to take to cost you time. So when you do actions, you're going to move ahead on this time track around the board here, and it's like other kind of games like this, like Patchwork and Glenmore. It's always the player behind who's doing the next action. So if I were here now, I could maybe do a research action, it costs 1, and then I could do another action coming here, and it's going to be your turn doing something. And you're going to continue doing that. And when somebody moves ahead so that there's no one at the space where this arrow is, you're going to move that to the next place. So let's say I moved over here, it's going to move all the way here. And when you move past one of these symbols like this, you are going to have a theory phase where you place 1 or 2, or 1 or 2 of these theory places. There's 1 in the normal version or 2 in the advanced version. And then when you come all the way over here to the X, you're going to have a Planet X conference where everybody's getting some information about Planet X. And you're just going to continue doing this until one player guesses, because that's the last action you can do, is to locate Planet X. And to locate planet X, you both need to know where planet X is, and you need also to say what it is in the 2 adjacent sectors. If you are correct, you will get 10 points, and then you're triggering the end of the game. Everybody else get to do 1 of 2 things, either choose or either guess where planet X is or publish theories, depending on how far behind they are the player who just guessed where planet X is. And after that, you're counting up some points, depending on what kind of things you had correct. And the player with the most points is the winner of planet X. Or search for planet X.
Yes.
That was almost all the rules.
Yeah.
It was hard to do like an overview without telling you all of that. So that is what you are doing in this game. So let's talk a bit about the artwork and the components, which there aren't a lot of any of those. There aren't a lot of artwork and there aren't a lot of components. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's simple and it needs to be. There's not a lot of information on the board.
Yeah.
Most of the information you need to deduct is you scribbling on this. So could I show the other page just to see it scribbled in? So this is an example. You can see we've kind of scribbled in what we know is not there and what is not. We've taken some notes of the logic rules as well and noted some of the actions and what we found there.
And also the actions of other players, which might be interesting to know.
This is screened by, because this is obviously secret to the other players, so it will be a horrible game.
You have a player screen placed on like this, and it also have all the logic rules for the basic things and also the amount of the different objects.
I think this is great graphic design because there's a lot of information here, but I think this is, as you play it a few times, you can easily see, okay, how many gas clouds were it again and what is the logic rule for that. It's pretty easy to find. I like these, and I also like this simple board, so it's very easy to see when the game goes by which players who has placed the theories and which one was right and which one was not.
Yeah, because the wrong ones are removed.
Just discarded,
So there isn't like, I enjoy the artwork here. I like the artwork on these player boards. They are pretty nice, look pretty good. There are different artworks on different colors, so I like that. But this isn't a game you play because of the different artwork, basically.
Yes.
So let's talk about the player count. We have played this 2, 3, and 4 players. What did you think about the different player counts?
I don't think there are a lot of differences actually, because you're very much in your own head, just calculating, trying to eliminate the options. That is basically what you do.
Yeah.
So I think the only difference is that with more players, you could get some more information if people publish a lot of theories. And with few players, it could take less time because there is a little downtime between the players.
Yeah.
The downtime in this game is not very interesting. We talked about this because you're sitting so like soul in your own mind. So I think this is a game that you could easily play 1 player, 2 player, and it would be as interesting.
Yeah, I've not tried 1 player because we don't play solo games and because we are 2 players most of the time, at least. I think for me, I like this most as a 2 and 3 player game, and basically because of the downtime. It didn't add anything to my gameplay experience to play with 4. With 3 is fine, but I think like if I could choose, I would play it with 2 because, as you say, it's just sitting in your own head and trying to calculate, trying to see, oh, that is new information. But I think with 3, you get a bit more of that information, so you kind of can find out more things without actually doing actions. So I think 2 or 3 players is the sweet spot for this one. Most of the time, the maximum amount of players isn't the best for a game, so I think 2 and 3 players is the best here. And it has taken, it takes about like an hour and 15 minutes when we played with 3 and 4 players, and 2 players took a bit less than that.
Yes, we played both the expert version and the, what do you call it, simple version?
The normal version.
Normal version. I liked both of them. And I really like that they've given me an opportunity to choose if I want a long, complex game or a little simpler, more... faster gameplay. I like those 2 options to choose between.
So let's talk about the gameplay here, because this is basically a huge logic puzzle. This is, especially with all the logic rules, so that you can eliminate a lot of things without actually having surveyed, without actually having seen things. So balancing out doing the actions, I like the time track. That's kind of like the only gameplay mechanism here, is a time track, and then when you can publish the theories is pretty nice. But a lot of things here is in the app, and a lot of people, like, if you don't like app games, you're not going to like this, because almost everything, like all information, everything you're interacting with is the app, and of course you're telling the information on here. It could have been this game could have been a game, like an app. This game would have been very good as an app.
Yes,
I think this like you could then switch between like doing the actions and getting information.
Oh, please give me an iOS version of this. I would sit there and just puzzle in my head all day long. I would think this would really work.
I think this would almost be better as an app than as a game.
Yeah, I want that. Please, someone make that.
And you can then play multiplayer online, or you can play multiplayer between different smartphone devices.
Oh, that would be cool. Like Word Fruit that you had to. No, you kind of need to be more into it though. But yeah.
So the tactile things here aren't really a big part of the game.
No.
So like if you don't like app games or implementations or games that have a lot of implementation of digital, you're not gonna like this.
Yeah, stay away from this.
So but I'm thinking this would almost be better, as I said, because you have some of the upkeep. You can just of course the writing and things and noting things in your own way. That's kind of like the only thing I enjoy here. So that is a thing that would be hard in a board or in an app version of it. But I enjoy this game as a pure logic game. I think with 4 players, for me, it was a bit too much downtime. So it added up me just sitting for like half an hour, not knowing a lot of things. I had to wait a long time before it was my turn again. But yeah, what did you think about the game?
As a logic puzzle, I love these kind of games. So I really like, for example, Awkward Guests. That is a like murder mystery logic puzzle with a little more interaction between the players. I love that. I like this also, but for other reasons. This is more purely logic puzzly, where I do kind of my own thing. But I really enjoy it. I think it's logic rules. It's what do you call it? Logical, yes. And it also with the app that you can have so many randomization. It changes up the game from other times. And I've had different experiences with this game. I've sat there for so many rounds, not being able to publish any theories because I have no idea what's happening. And then you flip this one over and see, oh, there's some comment there. Now everything falls into place. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah. And one time I got like these general flows of information like from the start, so it feels different from time to time.
It does, and I would say like this is a pure deduction game. There's nothing else here.
Yes.
So for me, I'd rather play Awkward Guess, for example, because it has all of this, but it also has that kind of interaction, the trading of the cards, and that which makes that game a bit more than just the pure logic puzzle. I enjoy the logic puzzle, but because there's nothing else there. So in Awkward Guess, for example, then, because that's my favorite kind of all of these deduction games, that there is something happening until I break something, until I understand something. Here, it basically nothing happens, and then I understand something, and it starts to get fun. So this game has sometimes been very fun, and sometimes not been that fun in the beginning. I do like it. I do think like I like the time track, especially with more players. With 2 players, it's mostly gonna be you will be here, I could do a research and then do an action. Like there's not a lot of other things that can happen basically.
Yes.
So that isn't as interesting in 2 players. But that track is kind of more interesting in more because you can try, okay, because you did that, I can try to do a smaller action first and it's only one other player before I can do my action again. So that works a lot better with more players. But then again, other parts of the games I don't like that much with more players. So there are things that I like, but there aren't a lot of gameplay mechanisms. It is basically, and also one thing it feels a bit repetitive because there are 4 actions you can do. One of them is locate planet X.
So you're probably not going to do that a lot.
Hopefully not more than once. Another one is target, which you can do 2 times, but it's expensive, so you're probably going to do it 1 or 2 times, maybe, depending on how you play and what you end up with. And then there's only 2 other actions you can do. There's research and then there's survey. So it's a bit repetitive because there aren't a lot of options. There are options of where you survey. Maybe it's not good for you to survey before it's over here. Or maybe like you don't know, or where should I survey? Like there are options that way. But it feels repetitive because the research, I can only do it every second round. In the beginning, you're probably doing that if you like to get more of the logic rules. Or sometimes I haven't. I've just done one and then done a lot and then done one more. So that is maybe making me not want to play the game so many times because it feels like gameplay wise, it feels like I'm just pressing the same thing, doing that,
yeah, so
it's for that. And
so what you're saying is with any other game, if you are not too keen on the core mechanisms, you're going to get tired of it. And here there is very simple mechanisms, so it's easier to get tired of it because. But it's the puzzle that has to excite you.
Oh yeah,
so
I agree.
So yeah, I can take an example. For example, Alchemists. Yeah, and this reminds me a little bit of the logic puzzles in Alchemist as well. But there you have a Euro game with worker placement as well, and you're trying to making potions, selling potions, doing stuff, gathering ingredients. What I like the most about Alchemist is this.
Yes.
I would rather play this because this is what I enjoy. But if you enjoy Alchemist because of the worker placement, then
that is obvious, basically. And I don't like Alchemist too much, but I would have liked it if it were maybe like 1 or 2 other actions you could do.
Yeah.
Like, because so like, oh no, it's good to do that action.
Yeah, I
like
get
it's
it.
now, oh, I'm doing that action again.
But there's already a lot of thinking involved by where to search and what to search for. I imagine the downtime could be even worse if you added a lot of different ways to do it as well. I don't know, I'm just speculating.
But maybe some more actions that you only did like sometimes.
Yes.
Like, because I feel now that I'm just repeating the same actions and doing it again and again and again and again. And I agree that, like, of course, it's just to solve the puzzle, but it's not exciting. It's exciting when you break something and you understand, oh, no, I can see that, that, and that. Then I don't really care about the actions per se, but especially in the beginning of a game, you're just trying to do something. It feels kind of repetitive to do the same thing over and over and over.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like we are saying the same thing over and over and over. So maybe
what I like about the game though is that when you're starting a game, you can start. You can decide what difficulty you want for it. So if you want to be a low difficulty, you can get a lot of starting information.
Yeah.
Or if you want to play expert hardcore mode, you can start with no information at all. So if you think the game is the most fun when you have some pieces and you have to just put them together, you could take more hints in the start of the game. You can also do, like, if I'm really good at a game, which I am, I can take fewer hints than you.
Yeah, it's a handicap system, basically.
I really like that opportunity that the games give me.
I do not like that we haven't used like the easiest one, but I do not like that they have called it youth. I think it like, this is for small people.
Yes, I
like,
agree.
It could have been like easy, beginner, or like easy, medium, hard, and expert.
Yeah.
Instead, because it makes you feel like if you enjoy the game being shorter and easier, you should choose the youth one.
Yes.
But it feels kind of bad. Like I don't like that they've called it that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand why. Like why it could
that
just
was
have been
unnecessary.
Beginner.
Yes, I agree.
Makes sense. Like, I would rather be a beginner than be like, oh, I'm going to choose a youth. Because I'm so stupid.
Kid.
Like, I haven't... Yeah, not that kids are stupid, that's not what I mean, but you understand what I mean.
Yes.
So I think we have spoken a lot about the things in the game.
I think so too.
Should we do some final thoughts?
Yes. Could you start this time?
I will. I like this. I like this quite a bit. There are things I don't like. I'd rather sit down and play Awkward Guess. That's more exciting. I like the theme here. I like that, but it's kind of dry. It's a dry theme.
Yeah.
Like there aren't. It's just like finding this finding. Like I think doing this in real life is more fun. Like being an astronaut or looking at the sky. But here it's just like it's very pure logic puzzle, and I enjoy that. But let's talk about like let's say that only the logic puzzle in Awkward Guess, I like that more because it's more living. It's more things happening. It's more variables. There are more different things. It's not like it's there or not there. It's like, oh, it could have moved here. You need to know where they moved. There are more things you need to find out. Here it's very basic. It's finding this is here, this is here, this is here, this is here. And because this is here, that can't be here. Okay, so that is the same for all of it.
Yes.
And I enjoy that more in other games. But I think this is a good game. I enjoy these kind of games, even though you are a master at them. And I did win last time, but you always find Planet X. I've never done that. But I like this. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I think it's a good game, but it's not one that I would choose over other games in this genre.
Yeah, while I really adore Awkward Guess, and that will be my favorite. I really appreciate the simpleness of this game. It's a pure deduction game, and also there's nearly no setup, so setup takes no time, and I'm happy about that. This is one of my favorite genres because I really enjoy this, and also in video games as well. I'm always a sucker for pure logic puzzles and sitting and trying to drag some things that are logical out of my brain. I'm going to give this an 8 because I'm just in love with the genre, and I really appreciated being more games in this category. While Awkward Guess is also still my favorite, but this is solid.
So cool. That is the end of another review.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Sunoma.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.